Kundalini activations and upgrades. They really aren't so wonderful and glorified. Some people read about and learn about Kundalini activations. You hear about these ascension symptoms. You hear about all these upgrades. But realistically, they're not so wonderful when you're actually in the storm experiencing them. But don't worry about it. Uncle Mike is out here in nature to tell you all about it. Hello everyone, I am Michael and I help guide people on the evolutionary journey. When you go through an activation, when you go through an upgrade, it's not so pleasant when you're going through it. And sometimes people might say, you know, oh, this is not a real thing. You know, how do you know that something like this is real? And the way that you're able to do this is by really being in tune with your body. Over the course of time, people, they've lost touch with their own body. They're not in tune with their own body. And when you are in tune and you know how your body normally feels and acts, then you will understand a little bit more when you have these ascension symptoms, these upgrades, if you will. But we collect these dense energies as we go on our journey. And recently on my journey, I've shared with you that I had tremendous pain in the base of my spine. And this story is going to help you understand. Even myself, Light Warriors, I don't even understand. I don't really understand it myself. But I'm leaving this message for all of you. And maybe you guys can share in the comments maybe similar experiences that you've had. I've shared with you for a couple of months that I had a tremendous pain in my lower back. And I've never experienced the pain like this before. And, you know, like you're accustomed to, you know, how you've gone about your life and you know how you normally feel. So I had this pain in my lower back and it lasted for months. As I stand here today, okay, I have no pain in my lower back right now. The pain has gone, but my body is kind of shook up right now. And, you know, everything is kind of, you know, making me feel very sensitive. I'm very sensitive to a lot of things, loud sounds, you know, certain things startle me. And, you know, it's like being oversensitive. But at the same time, simultaneously, right, that the pain in my lower back went away. Now I'm feeling all of this extra energy going through me. You know, many of you have, you know, watched some of our world famous live streams, right? The world famous live streams. And you know how, like a lot of times, I would sit there and I would sip on some coffee, right? For almost, not my whole life, but for so many years, I drink coffee in the morning. And I have no desire for coffee, for caffeine, for any stimulants whatsoever at this time. This is very uncharacteristic of myself. So, you know, just going about my day, I'm actually trying to just calm myself down. I don't want no caffeine, no coffee, you know, no pre-workouts, nothing. I'm just trying to, I'm feeling all the energies and I'm just actually trying to calm down just a little bit. So, you know, this is what an activation, this is what an upgrade will feel to you, especially when you're in tune with your own body, right? So, you know, I shared again, for so many months, I had that pain at the base of the spine, and it never was there before. And now that that pain is gone, you know, something activated within me, something, you know, this energy is now moving around the body. And, you know, I'm feeling so much energy, so sensitive. It's actually not a good thing, Light Warriors. It's not a good thing when you know, I'm saying I have so much energy. But, you know, sometimes everything is like kind of overstimulating, and it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle. But when you feel this, you need to get out in nature and soak it all in. soak up all of the nature, and that's going to help ground you. You want to surround yourself with loved ones that are going to help you through the time period. But ultimately, I'm here, standing out here in the vibration of authenticity. When you go through an awakening, when you go through an upgrade, when you go through a Kundalini activation, it's inside of you, and no one out there can help you get out of it. You're going to have to get out of it yourself. You're going to have to manage these times, and you're going to have to find a way. So, you know, sometimes it's talking with others, and that's why it is my honor to do these messages and share these messages from a place of authenticity, because I know how scary it could be. You know, this recent activation is very scary for me. And, you know, I remember many years ago when I had the ringing in the ears. I shared that story. I'll share that link. If you haven't seen my video on ringing in the ears, many years ago, I experienced incredible pressure in my skull, and there was a ringing that was never there before. And all of a sudden I had this ringing in the ears, and I told the story how I went to the doctor, and you know, he checked out my ears, and he said, everything's okay. You hear these stories that people hear this sound, we hear the sounds, right? We hear this sound that doesn't exist, and you know, no one can explain it. Well, good luck. So as the sirens ring, you know, that's what I had in my head all day long. I had this ringing in the ears, and at that time it was very scary to me, and there was like no escape from the sound. Like, there's no escape from the sound. The universe works with me, right? The universe is always working. The sound, I just couldn't escape the sound, and it gave me panic, especially like no one can, you know, tell me what's actually going on. And that's why we're communicating with each other. I recall that I went through that time period, and I remember how scary it was. Now I'm going through something different, and now I know that I'm going to have to make it through this time period, that I'm going through different changes. So there's always different types of changes, and these changes, they're not so easy to deal with. It feels like the whole world around you is kind of caving in, because your old life, you're seeing your old life, and your old life is no longer resonating, because now you've leveled up, and now all of a sudden everything that you've surrounded yourself with is no longer familiar and comfortable. And it's important to realize this on your journey. It's important to realize that these activations, that these symptoms that you have, it's going to knock you down, but ultimately only you can get yourself out of these time periods. Talking to people, having the knowledge, having the awareness that these things actually happen, and listening to how other people made it through those time periods, it's very helpful. But still, right, you're going to have to get through it yourself, because it's happening within your body. And then your outer world, as your energy changes, your outer world is going to change as well. So take the time to rest. Take the time to realize that these changes are happening, and they make you feel very uncomfortable. So I know that we hear about Kundalini activations, ascension symptoms, and they seem so glorified, but sometimes they're not so glorified. So it seems like everything in the world right now is going crazy. But you need to dig deep, and you just need to get to a survival mode, right? I know we always talk about abundance, but like when you're dealing with something and it's inside of you and there's not much you can do, you just need to get into survival mode. Just make sure, and you say to yourself, I'm okay for right now. Sometimes we have anxiety, fear of the future. And right now, as I'm going through my changes and the world is going through many changes, we all have anxiety right now, which is fear of the future. And if I sit at home, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm thinking about all the things that I need to do and everything that's going on in the world, it becomes overwhelming. So you have to start with the now moment. Now I'm okay. Now everything is going to be okay. And when you keep moving forward and you realize that, you know, you just have to worry about the now moment, then you're going to be okay, right? It seems like everything is going on around us right now, and that's kind of how I feel. Sometimes we kind of manifest these things into our physical reality. So realize that these activations happen, and your energy is kind of all over the place, but we need to take the time, and it's going to settle in. It's kind of like years ago when I had the ringing in the ears, and the ringing was so loud at the time, and eventually I settled into the ringing, and the ringing wasn't so loud. So right now I'm feeling all this crazy energy, and you know, I know that I'm starting to settle into this new energy right now. So everything is starting to settle in, and I hope that this message helps you when you're going through these activations, because they're not so wonderful, even though we hear about them. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people, and please share with one other person, because when we all share with one other person, we will rapidly grow our 5D community. Reach a place where it's just one day at a time. Say to yourself, one day at a time, I'm going to make it. And that's how you start to go through these massive activations, these massive awakenings. All of this energy is coursing through you. Get out in nature. Get out in nature. Take it all in. Allow the light of Christ to go through you. Allow the negative ions of the planet to go through you. You can't sit in the house. I know right now, this time of year, it's getting cold, and you might, you know, feel like, you know, it's hard to get out there, but you're going to have to find a way to manage these symptoms, because, you know, if I'm activating now, I'm sure many of you are going to be feeling some activations very soon, because this reality is about to change, and it will never be the same again. Remember, we cannot control what is around us. However, we can control from within. Be conscious of activations driving you crazy, light warriors. Use this to raise your vibration and increase your electromagnetism. Life is so much better when we are all together. If you find this message inspiring or know someone that could benefit from it, please share this message. Dear ones, I am Michael. Find us in the 5th dimension. Have a wonderful day living your everyday life. Start off with you are okay in the now moment. Don't worry about the future. Start off, I am safe, I am okay in the now moment. Then surround yourself with loved ones. Then surround yourself with nature. And then eventually this energy will settle in, and you'll get back to the person that you came here to be. If you're experiencing activations, if you're experiencing awakening symptoms and all these wonderful things that come along with the spiritual awakening journey, right? When you're leveling up, when you're ascending to a new earth, there's many words, there's many terms for these feelings, but you have to understand feeling during this time period, feeling. So please share your comments so that others will be able to navigate this time period. And I hope I'm helping you navigate, and guess what? Each and every one of you are helping me navigate this time period as well. I am the defender of our everyday lives. Victory of the light. And so it is.